the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, 30th from Sarasota, Florida. I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Holston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast all about home technology, home automation. It's time for CEDIA again. HomeTech Happy Hours. Yay. If you're in Denver next week, next Friday, come on over to the HomeTech Happy Hour. We're having a happy hour. When is it? It's Friday. What Friday? The only Friday. What is it? The 6th?
The Friday of next week.
Friday of next week, yeah. We will be at the Rock Bottom Brewery. And guess what? We have a sponsor this year. Chow Mein Soft stepped up last week. And I think we it was like during the show recording last week. They were nice enough to sponsor as to become a host of the happy hour. So if you need a driver or a module or a plugin for one of any 9 different control systems, Chow Mein Soft's where you go, because they have a large marketplace for drivers. It's probably the largest in the world at this point because they have tons of stuff over there. So go over to chowmein.software and check them out. Alan was nice enough to be on the show a couple weeks back too. So if you want to check out that interview there as well, you can. But thanks again. Thanks so much to Alan and the team over there at Chow Mein Soft. I really do appreciate it and helping us out with the HomeTech Happy Hour. And go out RSVP. I got to get got to tell them like how many people are coming. So it would be helpful if we knew that. So if you're planning on being in Denver and you want to swing by just for a couple minutes, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be long. Just come say hi. Rock Bottom Brewery downtown at 6 to 9 p.m. on Friday. What is that? The 6th. So yeah, come on by.
If you hang out with Seth long enough, you might get some honeycomb ice cream.
Might get the ice cream.
Yeah. So I'm a little disappointed that Gavin and I can't be there this year, but I know you're going to have a lot of fun, Seth. I know you're going to see some cool vendors over there. Maybe go check out some new Ubiquity stuff we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Don't stress out too much setting up your booth and stuff this year, because last year you looked kind of rough, buddy.
Oh, last year. I don't even want to think about last year. What was funny is, I think it was last week or the week before, I sent here's where we were last year at this time. And it was, that's when I had flown out to Utah to look at the booth being built. And it was just a bunch of sawdust and rough boards, not even painted or anything. It was crazy. So thinking how far along we are right now versus where we were then, they were building that booth up into the day it had to be shipped and delivered, and they got it done. So that was awesome. But man, yeah, I'm not going to be soldering a bunch of lights together this time. I don't have to install any of that stuff. It all gets done. So that should be a lot less stressful. We set up a small size booth at Infocom. Say small. It's the same booth. It just had there's an extension we can take out and make it have a smaller footprint, and it went up. It was done when we got there. I basically flipped the switch on, hooked a bunch of wires up, and we were good to go. So that was nice. Nice when a plan like that comes together.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got to make it nice and easy, because I couldn't even imagine setting up for those events. I know just flying in and getting prepared is annoying sometimes. I couldn't even imagine setting up a booth and dealing with all that. So
yeah, I'll be glad. We're there. I think we're there on Tuesday doing our setup. I think Tuesday and Wednesday, and the show opens Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know why they do Saturday. Seems like a wasted day.
Yeah, the Saturday always confuses me. We didn't go Saturday last year. We just skipped it and went to the zoo.
Nobody goes to no one's there on Saturday. It's the day that the cornhole things come out and vendors play in the aisles. Because there's no one there but the vendors. I don't know why they do it. All the vendor meetings are on Saturday. We're gonna miss you guys. It's gonna be sad.
I just got to give a shout out to Keith. He reached out on Twitter and he offered up a room, to stay and sleep not far from the convention. Even threw in coffee in the morning and dinner and drinks at night. As tempting as that all is, Keith, you forgot the other part. We need a jet. So
man,
yeah, I'm sorry. It's all or nothing.
Choosing beggar over here.
I know, man. You need that private jet, Keith. Time to step up.
Gavin an executive now. He needs the private jet life. If he can't get the private jet life, he doesn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, so
he's being taken out for steak dinners all the time, and
we hear about him.
But I appreciate the offer, Keith. He says it's open for TJ too, but TJ needs a jet as well.
TJ said he'll fly Spirit.
Yeah, I don't need a private jet. I could honestly just fly Spirit. I've flown Frontier.
He needs a plane ticket then.
He'll even fly in a Delta or a Boeing.
Oh, I don't know about Boeing. Sorry.
Can you take a train there?
I would take. Well, I don't know if I'd take a train. It'd probably take a while. I did a train ride to New York one time, and that was 24 hours. So can't imagine how long it would take to get to Colorado.
That does sound fun, though. I mean, What if you're just out of pocket for a week while you get there? It's like, oh, I'm here. Roll up downtown at the train station. It's like, oh, I'm here now.
It'd fit in with the rest of Denver.
Yeah, there's so many places to just lay around down there.
That's right.
All right. Well, if you are in Denver, swing by the HomeTech Happy Hour Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. We'll have some drinks and food there. We'll be hanging out, having a chat, and just stop on by. We got a couple of. I was looking at the CEDIA headlines. There weren't very many CEDIA headlines. I was kind of. There's a nice coffee, Gavin.
That Tim Hortons cup just showed up on my desk. I didn't even see it coming.
Nice delivery.
I appreciate it. I appreciate whoever dropped off this Tim Hortons coffee. I appreciate it.
They don't even work in the Tim Hortons up here, and they bring coffee to you up there. I'm jealous.
Wow,
Canadian life.
Wow. Healthcare and coffee.
All right. Well, we have a couple of new products this week. I didn't think there was going to be. I thought it was going to be all CEDIA news this week, and I really didn't see very much out there. So I'm kind of curious as to what's going to go on next week at the show. It may just be a bunch of like refreshes on the products. We'll see. We'll see. There's a couple of new things to kind of go and check out. But we do have a couple of new products here in the HomeTech Headlines. So what do you say we jump in?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I don't think we're going to get very far without talking about what Unify's done. They will be at CEDIA as well next week. They've had this big giant booth. It's been right next to ours. And I've been looking at their space. I'm like, what are they going to show in this giant space that they have? Because they have like some of the smallest products. Like everything they have will fit in a tiny rack, and then they have a couple of access points, right?
I think literally last time they just had a table set up with all their stuff. That was it. It was like a giant booth with a table and a digital signage behind it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, they're just going to do that again. Well, no. They come out with a surprise here. They have launched a pro audio line, basically. They have a new premium speaker amplifier designed with high fidelity multi-zone audio streaming and immersive spatial sound experiences. Low latency wireless audio streaming with Apple AirPlay 2, Spotify Connect, 130 watts per channel at 8 ohms. It has 2 speaker terminals, 1 RCA analog subwoofer output, and it's got 2 RCA inputs for left and right channels, so you can hook up that, I guess, record player to it. I don't know. And it's got a 1 HDMI eARC input for immersive spatial sound, powered by Dolby Atmos. And of course, the strangest thing they have on here, they've got a 1.5 inch-ish, roughly, rotary knob touchscreen on the front of this thing. It looks like a Nest thermostat. It's been slapped on the front of a Sonos amplifier. It's so weird. But what is this thing? What we find this thing? It was $600, $599, and available August 29th. Also comes in white and black as well. So there's 2 different colors. Well, let's go around. Gavin, what do you think about this thing?
I think it's really cool. Like, my first thought when I looked at it was, who's going to sue them first, Sonos or Google? Because it looks like they took both of their products and just glued them together and did a little bit. But I think it's really cool. I'm always, when you get into the home audio, I wonder if they're going to be making speakers next, maybe. We never know with these guys. They're just coming out with so many products. The only thing that I really didn't like, why didn't they just make it fully rack mountable? Like, yeah, it kind of just, it's a couple of amps that you're just sitting in your shelf, in your rack. And I'm like, why didn't they just make it like a proper rack mountable device so it matches all the rest of their gear? It kind of just sticks out. So maybe they'll come out with an accessory, like plates with a little hole in it for the thermostat to stick through, and you just cover it up and it looks like it's rack mounted. It uses 2U, I believe it said. It's got a lot of features. I believe you said it's got more features than what they even list. Like, there's a lot more that it covers in it.
Well, it has in their tech specs, it has where they talk about the Spotify Connect and the Apple AirPlay 2, which are primarily not used in commercial audio. So if you're thinking about commercial, they also are coming out. They have support. It says, what was it, November 8th for Soundtrack Your Brand, which is kind of a commercial ASCAP BMI licensed audio playing thing where you go on and you pick whatever playlist you want to your store to have or whatever, and it'll play that without the potential of having like an offensive curse word laden song. Like it's just gonna like filter out and play radio edits of everything.
Yeah, and price wise, it looks like they're competing on price with the Sonos amp. I mean, $599 US. That's like $800 Canadian. It's still, I don't know if I would be there. That's kind of expensive, but I was also looking at Sonos amps, so I may have a decision to make, for my backyard speakers. We will see. I have many used to spare in my rack.
Yeah, I can see this definitely being an appealing product if you're already in the Ubiquiti system. One of the things I like about Ubiquiti is that if I'm going to sell a Ubiquiti Wi-Fi system, I can easily add on cameras without a bunch of extra expense. And so, especially if I get into houses with architectural speakers throughout, and I'm already doing the network and maybe cameras, I can go ahead and tack on a music system, and it all works throughout the same ecosystem. And so that is pretty appealing to me. When I first saw this, I think somebody in the Slack channel posted it. When I first saw it, I didn't like it instantly, and I don't know why. I just like Ubiquiti doing an audio product just sounds silly. But the more I looked into it, I think it's a good fit. I think they should come out with just a streaming device next. Hopefully they do that, kind of like the Sonos port. So that way, if you want to put this in a commercial environment, but they have 70 volt or their own amplifier already, then you can just tack this on. So I can see that coming out in the future at some point if this is successful. But I like it. It's got eARC. It's got all the normal connections you would expect from an amplifier like this.
Yeah. I was just looking, you guys were talking about the Sonos amp. I was looking up what the Sonos amp dimensions were and comparing it to this one. And they are roughly the same. Sonos is 8.54 squared, essentially. So 8.54 inches. Or if we're going to go with the millimeters, we'll say 217 millimeters squared. And then, let's see, the Unify one was 8.5 on the money. Not with the 5.4, just 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Now, there's a caveat to this because on their dimensions, I have to find this out next week. It says with the knob, it's 8.5 by 9.3, but without the knob, it's 8.5 by 8.5. So that leaves can you take the knob off?
Or can you buy it without the knob?
The knob's got it. I want to disconnect the knob. I want to take the knob off and run around. I want to go to CEDIA and just pull the knob off the front of the Sonos thing. I want to see
going to get kicked out. But no, I think that is, I think they're saying that for rack mounted stuff because on a rack, the depth of the rack matters. But typically on the front, you have a little bit of extra space. And so that's probably what they're accounting for. I doubt this is a removable knob.
I really wanted to remove the knob.
I wish they would have just built the screen into the device itself and then put some buttons or something like that. Kept it flat instead of look like a device you just stuck a Nest thermostat on.
Yeah, it totally looks like the Nest thermostat stuck on the front of it. I mean, it really does. Even with the rotary dial, and it's so weird. They have other products that have the little touch screens built onto them that are slightly useful. And I mean, I guess why in this case, they would definitely need more. The rotary thing makes sense, for an amplifier control. You turn up and down the volume. It also makes sense for interacting with other, menu structures and everything on here, that you can't exactly have on the touchscreen itself, moving back and forth through playlists quickly. The rotary knob is going to be better. But man, it's a weird flare on the front of this thing that just makes it look a little strange. I'm not sure about it. One of the things we were talking about before is who is this targeted after? And I really think looking at this, this isn't a commercial product. It looks like it's a commercial product, but at $599, it's going to be really expensive for these small, the Soho offices, right? The offices that you're going to have to get a pair of speakers and put them on the ceiling or connect, wall mount speakers or whatever. And then you're going to have to get this $600 amp, which is on par with the Sonos amp as well. And then you're going to have to that's all you get. And then in the commercial world, you typically have 70 volt systems. You don't have these 8 ohm systems. So I don't know. This is a really strange product. I'm very curious if later on, like you're saying, Gavin, it's not a rack mount piece, but I'm curious if later on they come out with a 2RU rack mount piece that is got a built-in 70 volt amp. And that way you can just power all the speakers.
And maybe they did this on purpose so it's not confined to a rack. So this is maybe something you can have under your TV on a shelf somewhere and still,
definitely.
You have physical control. So, if you're going to make a rack mount product, I want it to be a real rack mount product, but I can see why they did this too.
Yeah. I mean, I'll point to the installation guide that comes with, it doesn't come with it. You have to scan a QR code and get it. But the installation guide that they send you to has a nice little image of this thing set on someone's living room, I don't know, the little entertainment center underneath the TV with the 2 tower speakers next to it and a couch facing the TV. Like it's clearly a living room setup for this. And I really feel like this is not, there's got to be more to this, because we kind of go into some of the other stuff that they announced alongside of this. I think it's kind of a bigger deal, at least for commercial spaces and commercial AV. This just misses the mark in so many ways, with whether it's the product design, 8 ohms versus 70 ohms, you're like no options there. I don't know, and being almost like an exact replica of Sonos plus a Nest thermostat on the front of it. Like I don't know. It seems like as far as design goes, this misses the mark. Like you're not going to be able to install this in very many commercial environments because of, frankly, it just doesn't have 70 volt. Like you've got to have 70 volt. It doesn't have any RCA outputs that you can use to go to actual real 70 volt amplifier. I really feel like this is going to compete with the Sonos amp, which I can't say I've ever looked at that product and said, oh, that'll work great in a commercial environment either. Some of the other things they had this video that came out and had some security, or I guess it was like some notification updates where they were showing off some of the AI things that go along with their cameras, and you can see a license plate come up and then send a Slack message to you if someone pulls up at a gate, or a gate opens or closes and that kind of thing. I thought that was pretty cool. Like you can do all sorts of stuff with notifications now, and you can actually turn the notification. You can like day part the notification. So if you don't want them to notify you after 5 p.m. or before 8 in the morning, you can turn them off then. That was really, really nice. One of the biggest things that they actually announced that they were joining the SVDOE Alliance, and that is like the kind of an AV initiative to have standards-based, what's it, like AV over IP stuff. So they've added new profiles for many of the commercial audio and video over IP solutions. So let's just go over a couple of them here. Dante Audio, QSYS Audio and Video, QSYS Video with Dante Audio, Shure Audio, Crestron Audio and Video, AES67, SVDOE, AS with AES67, SDVOE with Dante Audio, NDI with AES67, and NDI with Dante. So they have these profiles on many of their switches. I was looking at like we'll put a link to the help desk article in the show notes, but I was looking at like how many switches they have. It's a ton of them that support it. Now, used to you could do this, but you'd have to like SSH into the switch. You'd have to like turn on some debug functions.
It was awful.
Yeah, you'd have to go in there and you'd run some command lines to make some of this stuff happen. But guess what? When the system updated, all that got wiped. It never saved from, between Unify updates at 3 a.m. That randomly happened. So yeah, people weren't using it for any of this. And now it's as easy as like clicking what ports you want to apply the stuff to and hitting, Dante Audio is going to live here, or SDVOE or IGMP stuff is going to live over here. It's really cool. I think this is a bigger deal than most people recognize, because it's many of their switches, like even some of their older switches that'll be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that they're adding this, and it's one of those things that has always been a pain in the butt. I mean, I haven't really done HDMI or video over IP in a while. It's just not my thing. But 10 years ago when I was doing it, you literally had to SSH into it and do everything. It was very awful and very confusing, and tech support always sends you this long email with all this information on how to do it. And it's like, I have to do all of this just so I can watch TV over here. There has to be an easier way.
Well, there is. I mean, and a lot of the manufacturers have come out with solutions for that. Netgear seems to be leading the charge. Like they have a complete AV line of their switches. We sell them at work. That's why I'm familiar with them. But they have this already, like the little profile thing. And I used it the other day. You gotta like go in and say, okay, well, this needs to be kind of on its VLAN. It's going to do this. Optimize it for Dante Audio, like that. And you click that. Once you do that, boom, the profile is applied. It changes all these settings in the background for this one thing that used to be like a million different commands that you have to issue on the command line. And it's done. So good stuff there. It's nice to see that feature come to Unify, because they have a nice interface for it. It really looks good. All right, we got a new product here. I think this is more of a UK product, but Luon, it's a Warsaw-based company, has launched a new suite of Apple Home compatible products, including the Lubase Hub, devices, and the Lou Home app. The Lou Base Hub uses a proprietary wireless protocol called Lou Air, which is based on ESP Now and operates in the 2.4 gigahertz range. Let's put a bookmark on that ESP Now because it's actually a pretty cool thing. Unlike other hubs, it uses its own operating system called Luon OS and makes sure that all the data remains local with no external server connections. But it only really just works with Apple HomeKit. Like all their devices and everything just kind of get bridged right into Apple HomeKit. The ESP Now thing is actually kind of interesting because that is it was kind of introduced by Espressive. It's kind of a standard thing that they have that will link the ESP32 chips together kind of in the background over, I think, a little Wi-Fi mesh thing that they set up. So it's really cool. They announced that not too long ago. And those ESP chips you can actually set up kind of on their own network, completely separate from anything else. And a lot of people have been talking about that. So it's really cool to see a product using that. They also announced a Lou bulb, LU bulb. It's a E27 color light bulb. They also had a sensor I saw as well. And
presence sensor.
Presence sensor, yeah.
Looks pretty nice.
Bunch of cool stuff. Yep.
Yeah, honestly, I've never heard of this company, but a couple of their devices look nice. That Lou presence sensor. It's just a black square, but it doesn't look, it doesn't look weird or out of place like the Aqara FP2. I got a couple of nice devices here. I wonder if we'll start seeing them more often, and especially with this new technology here.
It actually, yeah, there's a lot to this. Like you have to, when you start looking at the ESP Now stuff, all the background communication and what it can do is actually pretty cool. But it's now yet another communication protocol that's being introduced. Like we need another one.
Yeah, well, it kind of is like, it's not a protocol. It's just something they built, the ESP company, ESP chip manufacturing company built into their chips to easily set up, and like you can just bridge these devices together if they have the ESP chips in with them. It supposedly it works really well. And it's just a really cool way to kind of bootstrap on what they're calling their proprietary protocol that communicates with their devices and whatnot. But it's essentially just a wireless network they're setting up. I don't know. I really like this because it kind of keeps everything, like it just kind of mashes everything right over into the HomeKit ecosystem. So it kind of makes, they don't really have to do much other than make sure that the devices connect to each other and get published out onto like a HomeKit compatible thing. And as long as they do that, you're good to go. It's kind of nice. Like as a manufacturer, like if you think about it, they don't even have to develop a UI or anything. They just have to have the ability to have something that like connects these products together, makes it real easy, pairs them together, and boom, you're done. Off to the races.
That's true, because in HomeKit you'll do all the automations and everything. All this is just doing is bridging these devices together through their hub straight to the HomeKit.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. I wonder if it will suffer from any, like it runs on 2.4, you said. So I wonder if it will like cause any interference with other networks or suffer from like, because you're going to be competing with not only wireless stuff, but also Zigbee in your house.
Yeah. I don't remember. I watched a couple of like YouTube videos on people that were, basically taking two Espressive chips and saying, oh, this is something that's been like in these chips, I guess. And they were like, they just published like how to activate it. And they were setting it up and having like two things talk to each other using that ad hoc network, I guess is what it is. I don't know. It's pretty cool. The Lou Base hub is €163. And then the Lou bulb is €25. So for some pricing information there. They actually have all this on their website. If you are using this, let us know what you think about it.
It's not a cheap hub. That's like $245 Canadian when I do the translation, right?
Yeah, especially for like a dozen devices.
Yeah, not just that, for something that all it does is bridge. It's just a bridge, really. So it's kind of expensive. I mean, for that kind of price, you can get like a Habitat hub, for cheaper than that, right? You can get like a SmartThings hub for. I'm trying to avoid saying Home Assistant, if you could tell.
Yeah, just get Home Assistant.
All right. For less than that, you can get Home Assistant.
They won't pay us, Gavin, unless you say their name.
Okay. Well, we aren't getting paid enough, Home Assistant.
It's all that open source money. Well, I don't know. It's a pretty cool product. Maybe a little on the pricier side, but I don't know if you're using something like this. Let us know. Let us know how it's going. Well, Your My Favorite Company has come out with a new product, Wise. They've come out with a new bird feeder product. I guess this is an accessory. It's is best I can describe it. It's a camera accessory. It lets you view, record live video of your feathered visitors and feed them, because it's basically it's a blue bodied like bird feeder with an orange top that you can kind of snap in a Wise camera into it, and maybe a solar panel on top as well. Like kind of like snaps all together, and you fill it up with bird food, and it includes a macro lens adapter, so you can like see those birds up close. By itself is $50, and it's $40 on sale right now. And if you buy it with a camera, it's $139. This looks like, I don't know. This is probably one of the strangest Wise products I've ever seen, because there's no AI on here. It doesn't tell you what birds are there, but it just tells you that there's some motion there, and the bird's eating, right?
I had the opposite reaction from the Ubiquiti product that I do for this one. When I saw this one, I was super excited, because I want one of those like bird buddies or whatever they are, the AI bird feeder.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend like $300 on it. I don't like birds that much. And when I saw this, I was like, $40, not bad. And I was like, okay, well, you add the camera to it, and then you add the solar panel, and it's at $140 with the Labor Day sale right now. And you're basically already there to the Bird Buddy or whatever alternatives there are there. And they actually built this, or those companies actually built their products. Wise just created a bird feeder. Because you can get the solar panel and everything to power the camera, but it's like a separate add-on thing. It's not even like built into the bird feeder or anything. So I don't know. This is a good idea. I feel like if you already have the camera, but if you don't have the camera, I'm not sure I would get this. And for me, I really want the AI. I want to be able to just look at like a photo album of all the birds or something that are the same type of bird. So that way I can just see all of them at one place. So
and you brought it up too. I thought of the Bird Buddy too when I first saw this. You know, we heard about that big time on Home Gadget Geeks podcast, which you are going to be on there on Thursday. But I got you, TJ. I got you. But I thought of it would be another lawsuit right here. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why they're doing this. But as Seth pointed out before the show, if you go to printables.com, you can download a 3D model of a bird feeder that you could put a camera in, save yourself the money,
Time to print, Gavin.
yeah.
Well, saving money. I mean, right now it's with the Labor Day sales and stuff that are on right now. So Bird Buddy's all 30% off too. So you can get the Bird Buddy smart bird feeder with solar roof for $209.
And you have the subscription for like ever, but I mean, at the same time, you're going to get the benefits of
It's
it.
the
So
AI.
if you just want like a camera that's disguised as a bird feeder, I feel like the Wise is probably a good idea. But if you actually want like a bird feeder that tells you about birds, then you're not going to get.
They have a hummingbird feeder. So if you're not interested in feeding, the Bird Buddy does. They have a Bird Buddy smart hummingbird feeder.
I tried to do a hummingbird feeder this year, but you got to change it like every like 4 days or something.
Yeah, they get sick.
And I was like, I'm not that dedicated. I don't think the bird feeder is going to be as popular as the Wise car. The Wise car I feel like is a better value.
They ever bring the socks back? The socks were actually pretty good.
I like how the Bird Buddy ad, the person that's using it has like 4 of them on their phone connected to their phone.
Dang.
At $300 each, she's a bird lover.
Got money bags over here.
Exactly. You know how many 3D printers I can get for that? 1.
Man, $210 is such a good price. I'm going to wait for the holidays, though. I'm sure it'll go even more.
Black Friday.
Yeah. You know how some people are like crazy cat ladies? I'm a crazy bird person. We got like 4 bird feeders.
You need to get the bird net thing going so you can identify who's out there chirping.
Yeah, I'm too lazy for that. I thought about it for about 30 seconds.
All right, well, let's move on here. We've got some streaming news. This is a report, interesting report. We found this over in The Verge. Chick-fil-A is reportedly entering a the crowded streaming service market with plans to launch its own platform later this year. The fast food chain is collaborating with the production companies and traditional studios to create original content, initially focused on family-friendly, unscripted programming. One of the first shows will be a game show produced by Glassman Media and Sugar 23, and future content could include scripted series, animation, and licensed or acquired material. So, Chick-fil-A, what do we guys? We get everything had a plus.
Chick-fil-A Plus.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A Plus. There we go.
Actually, I forget who it was. I was listening to the Verge podcast, and I think it was David Pierce. He guessed that it's going to be called The Sauce. And I was like, that is a really good name, you know.
They could name it that, yeah.
That would be good. Yeah, this is one of those like things that make you scratch your head. Like everybody's kind of like losing money on streaming and kind of condensing and everything like that. And Chick-fil-A wants to come out with a streaming service. I don't really understand the play here. They do have a couple random like websites. So I think it fits one of those things, but it just streaming services are very money intense. So if you're going to do it, you have to spend a lot of money. And it seems like one of those weird things for a chicken restaurant to spend their money on.
I'm so confused. You know, when you're watching all these other streaming services struggle to survive, then you have them coming in starting up one.
But they don't sell milkshakes and chicken nuggets over there at Disney Plus.
That's true. Maybe with your Chick-fil-X subscription, you can
Chick-fil-A Plus, the saucy Plus.
maybe get a discount at their stores. Who knows? They can use that.
Maybe the play, instead of like selling a monthly membership, you have to buy Chick-fil-A food in order to get like points that you can redeem for like days on the streaming service. So instead of just being able to pay like $10 a month, Chick-fil-A is like, no, if you buy 3 chicken sandwiches, it will give you a month for free.
There you go. It helps support their business, and
that's right.
I guess it sounds like whatever they're producing doesn't really cost that much. Like there's a couple of game shows or something like that. That's just it. Yeah, game show. I don't know. It'll definitely be advertising supported.
There probably is like a market for family friendly video content, stuff that doesn't necessarily fit into like Disney or like HBO and stuff like that, and like old like game shows and old family shows that kind of just don't really go anywhere. So maybe that's gonna be their play. That's just like family friendly content, kind of like Disney, but not just Disney.
Yeah, I mean, Disney's kind of like very different than the old Disney Channel, you know, Disney Kids or whatever that we used to watch. It's like, we used to watch. We used to like get for what was it, like a week or something that they would turn on the Disney Channel to tease you with, and then you watch all the channels and watch all of the shows as much as you could, and then like it would go back to being scrambled.
Oh man, that's awful.
Yeah, they used to do that a lot back in the days. Give you a free preview weekend or something like that. And,
wow.
Yeah.
We had DirecTV, so I don't know the struggles.
I didn't realize there were so many Chick-fil-A's around me. I remember when they opened up the first one. Now I have 2 within driving distance. So not too bad.
They multiply like Mormons, so.
Yeah, well, there's like 15 or so locations. Oh, not that many. Looks like about 10 now I'm seeing around us. Wow, they just like multiplied.
Yep. It's one of the things you drive by at lunch, and it's just like there's people packed out all the way around the parking lot out into the street trying to get in. So it's wild. There's
2 companies that go in around town that I know are going to be built on time, and it's Sheetz and Chick-fil-A. If I see a Chick-fil-A or a Sheetz, Sheetz is for you Southerners or Canadians. Sheetz is basically Wawa. They both came out of similar spots, actually. Both came out of Pennsylvania, from what I know.
What's Wawa?
It's a fancy gas station.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they sell like food and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, it's not Buc-ee's level, which is like a Walmart with gas stations attached, and
Buc-ee's is a horror show.
Oh my gosh, we went on one of those on a vacation.
It's a nightmare.
I will never go back to one in my life.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because when people tell me how much they love Buc-ee's, I'm like, that was like my worst experience at a gas station ever.
It was so bad.
There's Gavin, it's ridiculous. There's like literally 100 gas pumps, not even exaggerating, like 100 gas pumps. And like there's like a store, and it's like the size of a freaking Walmart, and it's just like full of like jerky and brisket tacos
and people
and
stuff.
And
like
people just love
hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. And and the thing to do is when you get done with your gas, you just leave your car there and walk on in.
Yeah, because there's so many pumps, it doesn't matter. But then you forget where your car is, because it's like, that's so big. You're like, where did I park at? Where's pump 83?
Yeah, the one we went to, there was definitely not enough pumps for the people that were exiting to go to this thing, and it was just we were just like, where are we gonna? We can't get gas. Like we're just sitting here waiting to get gas. We were pushing it anyway to make it to the Buc-ee's because everybody told me it was so good to go to, and we get there and it's a nightmare to get gas, and then a nightmare to like go inside to use the restroom. Oh my gosh, the restrooms, no. Everybody's like, oh, the restrooms are great. No. Don't ever go to Buc-ee's. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I went to on Daytona Beach, so maybe that's what skewed my opinion. All the meth around Daytona. So.
There's something around Daytona. All right. Well, yeah. Moving on from gas stations here. Speaking of gas stations. No, wait. Ring has updated its entry-level battery-powered doorbell camera to include a new head-to-toe view, improving package visibility on your porch. Great. You can see the packages. You should call it the package peeper, right? No, I'm not good at marketing. All right. The $99 Ring battery doorbell now features a 1:1 aspect ratio and 150 degree by 150 degree field of view, matching the format of its higher end models. The update also brings improved battery life, color night vision, and additionally, it will be redesigned mounting system for easy removal when charging. 1080p video, unlike the higher res versions that have 1536p. It's got standard PIR motion sensor, not the fancy radar sensor that the other ones have. And let's see, it doesn't have a removable battery, so you'll need to like take it down, charge it up, and bring it back if you're not hardwired to the doorbell wiring. Ring claims that the model offers up to 23% longer battery life compared to its predecessor, the Ring Video Doorbell 2. $100, not a bad deal. And these package cameras, man, these are great. I love the Unify G4 one has that look down camera, and they finally enabled like the AI, and it seems to start being working a little bit better. And it tells me there's a package all the time. Like out there, if Amazon drops something off, throws something at the door, it sees it and it picks it up and sends me an email and says, "Hey, there's a package at your front door."
Yeah, I have the original Unified doorbell, and I kind of want to upgrade to one of the dual package video doorbells. I don't care what brand it is at this point, because I've installed a couple for clients, and it is nice to have that secondary camera just to see below, and especially depending on the makeup of the door entryway and everything too, it can really add on there.
Do you guys not get notifications from your Amazon or delivery services when they drop off a package?
Yeah,
I do. But sometimes I'll get the Unify one first, and then a couple of minutes later, the Amazon one will come through, and then sometimes it like UPS or the post office. No, I don't. Like the post just drops. If it's something that's too big to fit in the mailbox, he'll just bring it up and set it on the front porch, and that'll be there.
Yeah, not everything's Amazon, Gavin. Come on.
Well, no, with a lot of our services, I actually get a notification when they've delivered it with a little picture showing someone else's door, and then it's a neighborhood hunt to find out where your package is. But even with my post, I find with whoever you bought it from actually notifies you. So I guess they notify their service, and then their service then notifies me that's been delivered. And that's usually pretty quick that comes across.
I will say that the one, the Unify G4, I think it is. Yeah, the G4. It has like a little light on it, but the package peeper camera, I'm just going to call it that from now on. It doesn't have like night vision on it like the doorbell does. So at night, it's just a black square. Like you can't see anything. And I guess if somebody like opened the door, walked up to it, and it turned that little flashlight on, that little entry light that they have, you might be able to see something, but like for the most part, it does not work at night. So it's pretty much a daytime only camera. I'm not complaining. I really like the feature, and I really like getting little notifications and knowing that something, like if we're on vacation or something and you miss those notifications or whatever, you can look and we always can check and see if there's something in the package, and maybe somebody, we can call somebody and come pick up something there. So I think it's a great feature that they can keep adding onto these things that really add on to. I mean, for $99, you can't beat that. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely, and battery powered. I mean, how often? I wouldn't really imagine. A couple of years ago, you'd be able to get a dual camera battery powered video doorbell. So yeah, that is pretty impressive. And it's not recording 24/7, but still.
I don't think this has the dual camera. I think this just has a wide field view, and they're using it to like identify. Unless I read that wrong. I think it's just a wide angle lens. And they're
maybe I'm wrong.
Using it to identify if there's a package there on the ground. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just nice to see your entire front porch. And you can also always see the person come up when they come up and take it. They come up and take your package.
Show me my package.
Exactly. All right, good news. If you have a Samsung TV, or at least one purchased in 2023, 2024, Samsung has announced that it will provide operating system updates for its newer TVs for at least 7 years. Commitment is aimed at maintaining market leadership and addressing concerns about e-waste and the longevity of expensive products. The updates will apply to TVs with AI-based features aligning with Samsung's strategy to compete against the rising Chinese brands. Samsung's market share has seen a slight decline while Chinese competitors like TCL gain ground. So nice to see. This is 7 years. I don't know if I want to have a Samsung TV for 7 years, but imagine all the ads they can serve you in that amount of time.
Oh man, I'd be milking you for data.
Do Samsung TVs last 7 years now?
Sure.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem, right? Is Samsung always makes like really nice hardware and really nice devices, but they always mess up with software. And Samsung TVs, as somebody who installs a lot of TVs, Samsung software on their TVs has been getting progressively worse. And it's one of those things that, like, I'm sure they're going to update it for 7 years, but it's probably not going to be usable for all those 7 years because they tend to just update it so much and just make it so slow and add so much junk to it that you just don't want to use it. And so if you're going to buy a new TV, put an Apple TV or Roku or something else behind it because the smart TV software is not going to be that good long term, even with 7 years updates.
I just put a Samsung TV in the other day. And it was bent. It was a 65 inch. Yeah, it was a 65 inch. And I guess wherever they were storing it was a little warm because when you hang it on the wall, like it was a curved TV, but it should not have been a curved TV. Like,
oh my gosh,
it was so strange. Yeah. So they had to call. I guess they probably got it from Amazon, and they called and got another one and to swap it out with. So yeah. Those TVs now, like a 65 inch TV used to not be able to lift yourself, without, it is still an awkward size, but man, they are very thin plastic and light at this point. Like it's not hard at all to lift a 65 inch TV.
I carried a 65 inch Samsung QLED today by myself. And the only reason it sucked is because they make it so thin that you're basically like grabbing onto it and it's almost cutting into your hands. Like it's not cutting your hands, but it's so thin that it might cut your hands open.
Did it wobble? Like, did it like flex when you picked it up? Because that's what this one did.
100%.
Yeah, it was like moving back and forth. And when I set it up at the bottom of that Samsung menu where the video is, there was a nice little like black semicircle that was cut out in the UI. And man, I thought I had damaged the panel putting it up because like right in the middle, it looks like I could imagine like hitting it too hard or something and causing this black semicircle to appear. Luckily, it was just part of the UI. I turned that particular menu off. Man, it had me worried. It's like, man, I probably shouldn't have done this by myself, but oh well. One thing I didn't do when I put the TV in was connected to the internet to get 7 years of updates, but there we go.
And that's the other thing is I leave my TV so disconnected, getting 7 years of updates. I've seen even on my LG TV, updates just seem to break things randomly. That's one thing I don't want to break.
They're giving you more ads. They gotta update the algorithm for the ad watching.
They gotta fix their ads. Sometimes I turn on my TV and I get like 10 ads, like one after the other, and they overlay each other. You don't even get time to read the ad, and it's just
God. What kind of TV did you get?
LG. It's a mess.
I am not buying LG. Like we need a new TV. We don't.
It's their software. Their TV is great. Their software just sucks. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but like they'll release an update, and all of a sudden the picture's looking dark again. So I had to go into the service menu and turn off certain features, and then it's light again. You think they would have figured this out by now?
Give me relevant ads and also not 10 at a time.
I'm not going to tell them how to improve their ads because at least I get hit with a whole bunch of ads and they disappear. But don't give me prompts that require me to use the LG remote to get rid of them.
Yeah.
That's the most annoying thing because I taught the wife now how to switch the Harmony remote to LG mode so she can get rid of them. But still, that's a no.
Yep. Sony does that too with little pop-ups to say, there's an update available. And it'll be like one of those little cards that hang up in the corner for a bit. It'll go away eventually, but it's kind of annoying to see. So
TV manufacturers, stop doing what you're doing.
Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Well, speaking of stopping, here we go. Owners of the Echo Show 8 Photos Edition just got an email from Amazon warning them that the Photos Plus, a subscription service that they paid $10 a month for, that allowed the display to serve up curated and personal photos as the primary content on the screen, will go dark next month. I guess, no, wait, they didn't pay $10 more. They paid $10 more, period, for it. But the Photos Plus compatibility is the only thing special about the $159 Echo Show 8 Plus Photos Edition, which costs $10 more compared to the standard third generation Echo Show. Photos Edition display is no longer available for purchase on the Amazon website. So not even for $10 can we make this product continue. Goodbye. We hardly knew you, Echo Show Photos Edition.
It's pretty bad when Amazon can't even make their subscription services work.
Well, I guess that's what I thought it was, but it's not a subscription. It just costs $10 more for this thing as well.
Oh, just for the hardware piece.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can see why they cut it then. Well, we already got our money, so.
Oh, no. It did cost. It cost $1.99 a month, following a 6-month free trial that included 25 gig.
Gosh,
why?
It's such a roller coaster.
Yeah. Why couldn't they make this work?
How much? It's one server spin up. How much could it cost?
Nothing. They own S3. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe they probably just had like 5 people using it. Not that many people using it. Because for $2 a month, I feel like you can morph that into something better. You know, I mean, what's $5 between friends? I
imagine that once people started that bought probably didn't buy the $10 version more. Like nobody wants these things for photo. Well, I guess photo frames would be a good use for them, but what they want them for is a kitchen timer, you know, and to tell bad jokes. And they're finding out. I don't know, the photo frame I'm kind of surprised about, because it seems like that would be a good idea. This is all like on the heels of like the rumors that Apple is going to have some kind of like crazy HomePod with a screen on it.
The robot thing.
They keep saying robot, but it's just.
I don't think a robot is what they think it is.
Yeah, a robot would mean like it scoots around to me, like a robot lawnmower or a robot vacuum that scoots around and does things. I don't think that the HomePod is going to scoot around or do anything. At least with the intelligence of Siri, it's not going to. So I think with a little like. Maybe a motorized arm. Echo has one of these. Maybe it's the Echo Show, where like it kind of pivots to like face your direction if you're coming to the room.
Well, they had the Astro. I don't remember if they had a display that just
that's gone. Yeah,
I saw somebody selling an Astro on Facebook the other day. It was like $700. I was like, oof, maybe.
Well, no more photos for you. You only get the stock photos and advertisements and news and that kind of thing. Not for $2 a month. I don't know why they can make this happen. It seems like it would have been a good thing. So. And moving on here, Govee has launched the Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights 2. It's a second generation smart outdoor lighting solution that now supports Matter, enhancing interoperability across platforms like HomeKit, Amazon, Google, and Samsung. Upgrades allows users to control vibrant, customizable outdoor lighting through the Home app or Siri without being locked into Apple's ecosystem. I don't know, this is pretty cool to have a new version of these. I bought these. I looked at them. I really didn't like how they kind of set up. They come in 3 different sizes, 50 foot, 100 foot, 150 feet. You really can't cut the wire to like length or anything like that, or add on extensions where you want them to be. So you kind of have to like really have those 50 foot, 100 foot, 150 foot runs where you need them to be. But other than that, they're pretty good. They're a pretty good product. I've seen a couple of people that have them around town, especially during the holidays when they turn them on, have like permanent Christmas lights installed, and they look pretty good.
I do kind of want to get these because I want some permanent Christmas lights, and I've looked into like the various like WLED and using whatever DIY sources I could. But honestly, I don't have the patience for any of that. These ones are not the most attractive things, but I do like that they kind of just work, and I feel like they would work good enough to where when I use them 3 times a year, like that's fine. I'm not sure I need to invest a ton of money into it. The not being an extendable thing really bothers me because, you know, the traditional thing with Christmas lights is that you can just extend them whenever you need to add more. And I'm very bad at measuring, so I'm probably not gonna be able to get the right amount on this. And I have like a large coil somewhere. I don't know. It's just I don't like it, and then that's why I don't like my crap. What are the one Christmas lights I have?
Oh, Twinkly?
Twinkly, yes. I like my Twinkly because they just work and everything like that. But it's got the stupid design where they like split off from the middle, and you have 2 separate wires that go with all the lights and everything. And it's hard to plan out. So they need to come up with some way to make these extendable and just sell them in like 25-foot segments.
Stop talking sense.
Yeah. Come on.
I don't know. I think they probably have. So I think these are probably like your lowest burden and like into entry, right? Like WLED is not. You can use it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Like the interface on that's pretty horrible.
Oh, trust me, I'm trying not to.
Yeah, you can actually use them with the Govee lights, but the way they set up differently, it's really weird how Govee does their lights. But as far as like the little software inside that Govee provides you, like out of the box, flipping the switch from going from like 0 to 100%, like I think it's probably one of the better products I've seen out there. They do have an API-ish, I guess. They have a local API on some of their products, and they have a cloud API that you can use as well, with like things like Home Assistant and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I think for the price, everything you get, these are. I don't like how these look on a house.
They do look kind of tacky.
Yeah, they're very. I know why they did it, but it has like a lens that like shines down kind of a harsh light on it, right? Like it's like a very spotlight looking thing. And of course you have one of these every 2 or 3 feet, 450 feet. Yeah. It can kind of get opinionated when you see it. I'm looking at the stock image that they have here with the USA house. I'm like, oh man, it's a bit much. I wonder if AI made this.
Oh, you know it did.
I think it had to, because there's two garage doors.
Well, the third slide says AI, so 100%.
Okay. Yeah, the 2 garage doors gave it away. The one that faces the driveway and the one that's on the side of the house. That kind of gave it away a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good product. I have their lights that I need to kind of figure out what happened to them. I think the water got into the connectors. And I think that shorted out the power supply. So that's probably the issue. But they so far they were a pretty good product, and they were working just fine until we had a massive hurricane flood thing. So I don't know. I like these products. They're a decent price, and I probably would recommend them to people who just like wanted a turnkey solution. 50 foot looks like it runs you 179, 100 feet runs you 200 and 100 or 300, and 150 feet runs you $450.
Yeah, according to my land survey, my front of my house is only 41 feet. So, I mean, a 50-foot segment would definitely just light up the front of the house.
Yep. And I think if you look on YouTube, there are people who have figured out how to like cut these and extend them. At the same time, you might not want to, because there are power requirements and things with these pixel LEDs that kind of make it tricky to do that with anyway. So what I've seen from like the little Govee lights that I have, they're pretty well designed within those tolerances. And you probably, if you're extending like around a window or something like that, you're probably fine. But if you think you're going to take the 150 foot and you're going to cut off the 50 feet and then run another 50 foot wire from the first floor to the second floor awning or something like that, that's probably not going to work very well in the long term with these things, because they're not designed to do that kind of thing. Anyway, let's move on here. All the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found over on our show notes at HomeTech.fm/496. We got something in the mailbag today. Brian writes in, "Hey guys, really enjoy listening to the show. I wanted to see if you can help with a small issue. I currently use a product called Verilog, made by Anderson Windows, and I can tell both open close state as well as locked unlock state for my deck and porch doors. They have since discontinued this product, unfortunately, but they work great for my use case. I have a home seer dimmer switch with LEDs built in, and I had those LEDs tie into my garage tilt sensors, door locks, and these Verilog devices for red or green LED light to tell me something's locked or unlocked. It was a nice time saver before heading up to bed, just to glance over at the switch to see if things were buttoned down rather than making the rounds around the house. It's a great idea." He says, "I use Samsung SmartThings and was able to find Anderson Verilog translator, which is basically used to convert the signal that comes off the little contacts over to Z-Wave. And that driver is on GitHub for SmartThings that use the Groovy platform. But since SmartThing has switched over to the Edge drivers, I've come up short using every search engine I know of for Edge drivers. So he's come to the HomeTech search engine. Any advice on where I might go?" And no, Gavin, he says, "I don't want to switch to Home Assistant right now." Gavin just hung up. Okay. He says, if not, no worries, but I figured he would ask. Let's see. Thanks so much, and keep up the great work. Thanks, Brian.
Home assistant.
No, I'm not going to say that. I have another suggestion.
Habitat?
Like, why are you raining on my parade here? Like, jeez. I was going to let you go first and then drop that, but no, you already ruined it. But you go ahead. You go first.
No, I don't have any suggestion. Mine is home assistant. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't say it for the record. First of all, I've never heard of this Verilog system. They are really cool. It's built into the latch for the window. It could detect open, close. It could detect lock, unlock. This is one of those devices. I wish they had like a generic version that you can replace your locks on your windows with.
Yeah,
because it hides really nice. You don't have a sensor sitting on the side. It's right in the window. I was never aware of this. I think it's really cool.
Yep.
I'm shocked. I'm saddened by the fact that it's no longer being supported, being discontinued. But I hope some vendor looks at this and sees if they can figure out a way to, make a generic version of this that we can all enjoy.
Yeah, evidently these were priced like about $100. They added $100 for each one of these contact.
Yeah,
things.
and when you're getting those expensive windows, that $100 doesn't
it adds
really
up.
mean it'll add up. But I mean, you're already paying a lot for those windows, so it's kind of worth it, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, I did a little research, and yes, it doesn't look like there's a SmartThings edge driver, I guess you would call it, for this. I didn't see anything, but I did see that somebody has a Habitat driver. And the thing about Habitat, it uses the same Groovy that SmartThings used to do. So they actually ported, I think, the SmartThings one over, and it works. Oh. So if you're looking for another ecosystem, I can highly recommend Habitat. If you don't want to go as far as a Home Assistant, I highly recommend Habitat because of stuff like this. Like they are like right there when it comes to like integrating a lot of things, or just allowing you to do that. So it's pretty cool. Take a look at that. But I think with your SmartThings, your SOL.
Yeah. We did a bunch of looking into this because after figuring out how cool these contact sensors actually are, we were like, oh, how is this not more popular? And I guess finding out what the price was, that's what kind of took things down. I guess Anderson discontinued these last year or the year before or something like that, which, I guess makes sense. There's still a lot of information on their website, but I guess they're using the 5800 Honeywell contact. It's just a generic Honeywell contact sensor inside there. And that can go to any kind of like a Demco Honeywell panel that takes 433 megahertz sensors. So I think there's a number of different ways of doing this. I think you're just going to have to add another hub, unfortunately. And I was wondering, like, there's probably a way to do like the home seer integration into Habitat too, I guess. But if he's like really happy with the SmartThings interface and that kind of thing, do you think you can like integrate with Habitat and then bring the states and everything back into Samsung?
There used to be a way to link them. I don't know if you still can with the new Edge system. But that's something to look up too, because then if you got a Habitat hub, you can, get access to a lot more things. The SmartThings system, I really liked it when they were on Groovy. When they switched over to Edge, I could see the benefits and stuff, but you lost a lot of things. This is an example of one.
Oh, here we go. I found it. Mira is a SmartThings Edge driver that allows devices on a local Habitat elevation hub to be mirrored back to SmartThings. Communication between the hubs is completely local and the cloud is not used. And Mira will create a virtual device in SmartThings for each Habitat device mirrored to it. So yeah, these are pretty cool. We'll put links to this stuff in the show notes. It seems like outside of SmartThings, you have a lot of options, and maybe somebody will get adventurous and port over. I don't know how possible it is, but port over the Groovy translator. I guess it's called the
Verilog translator, which seems to work on Z-Wave.
It's a Z-Wave.
They just need to translate the messages into what you want, right? And if you do look at Habitat, I recommend, wait for like, they go on sale quite frequently. So save a few bucks if you want and wait for the sale date and you can get Habitat in there, right? And see if that helps. I did not recommend Home Assistant.
Yeah, I guess you could probably.
Yeah, I think Home Assistant would be hard anyway. So the 345 megahertz is kind of hard, or 435, whatever it is. It's hard to integrate. It does integrate with a lot of alarm systems, like Seth was saying, though. So I know like all the panels we use from like 2 gig and Colsys work with this frequency.
But that frequency is if you want to go direct from the sensor, right? So if you have the Verilog hub, I don't know what it's called. Those connect to that hub and then translates it into Z-Wave, right?
It's just a translator. Yeah, the Verilog translator. All it was is it like paired with that, and then it translated over to Z-Wave messaging.
Yes, exactly.
Which is fine, but like at some point, like you're gonna basically that hub is gone. Consider that hub gone, and then you're replacing it with another hub. It may be Habitat, it may be Home Assistant, something along those lines. I think it looks like you can do what you want to do with Habitat. There's just going to be a decent amount of learning curve to it. And then there may be an alarm panel. Like that could be, consider that a hub, right? Like you could hook the alarm panel up, hook that back into SmartThings or whatever. As long as it integrates with those frequency contacts, right?
We may not have answered this question though, but we probably gave them a directional look,
Yeah.
Hopefully we helped you out.
You have a lot of options. There's just seems to be, you're going to need another hub. I'm looking at the HomeSeer website, and I don't think I want to look at it anymore.
That bad.
It's awful.
Their HomeSeer is just the dimmer switch, though. They don't have a HomeSeer hub, right? Yeah.
Oh, good.
Other dimmer switches are
dimmer
nice.
switches are generic, but they work. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they look pretty good. All right. Well, like you said, Gavin. Hope that helped. Yeah, we didn't get him to spend a lot of money though. Like I think those are budget answers.
That's good though. We like budget answers.
Oh, we need to get him to spend money.
So.
Okay. I recommend replacing all your windows.
Replace all your windows.
There's no point having a window, that you can't use a sensor on. So get rid of those windows and put in something else.
Exactly.
Upgrade them to something supported.
All right. Well, let's move on here. We got a pick of the week. I was in the movie theaters this weekend and I saw this trailer. It came up called for the Afraid movie. Now, when you watch it, the A and the I are capitalized in Afraid because you need to be afraid of AI. And man, this is a fun film from Sony Pictures. It looks like. So yeah, Sony Pictures Entertainment. We'll put a link to the trailer in the show notes. In Afraid. Curtis and his family are selected to test a revolutionary new home device, a digital family assistant called Aya, and taking smart home to the next level. Once the unit and all of its sensors and cameras are installed in their home, Aya seems to be able to do it all. She learns the family's behavior and begins to anticipate their needs. She can make sure that nothing and no one gets in the family's way. So, this should be fun.
She just gets me. This is not something I'll be afraid of. If my AI wants to stop me from doing stuff and cut the lawn herself, let her do it. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to stop
anybody.
She says, do not leave the couch. Sit there and binge watch these shows. I'll do it. Yep, sure, no problem. She'll get me.
Buy another 3D printer. Yeah, okay, whatever you say, AI.
She got my credit card number already. Go ahead.
Yeah, she'll just order it for you, yeah.
Yeah,
They could choose a better name for this AI, though. It's hard to say it, AI?
I don't know. Yeah,
Could have just made that a Y instead. It would have been way more obvious.
This is a Blumhouse production, so it's going to be
I like their productions.
Either really good or not really good.
Most of them I've seen have been pretty good. I mean, they have a pretty good track.
Yeah, they got some good actors in this one, too.
Yep. So, yeah, how do you escape? I don't know. You can't get away. Always sees you. I don't know. I just thought it was funny when it came up, like in the preview here, the AI lights up at first and then it turns into Afraid. I'm like, oh my gosh, like the marketing nailed this. Like everybody's afraid of AI and now we're going to have a horror movie based on it. So there we go.
Well, it's like those smart homes, trying to kill you type movies we've seen before. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one's just a little more closer to home, I guess.
Look, this one kind of reminded me of 2001. Like a little red eyeball thing that pops up from time to time. So yeah, 2001 Space Odyssey. It's got that built into it. It's got, a smart home. Yeah, why not? Afraid. Go check it out. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the week, or heck, movie recommendations, let us know. Our email address is feedback@hometech.fm, or you can visit hometech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. Project updates. Well, I don't have any product updates, but I do have an update. It turns out, according to a friend of the show, Jimmy, Over at Automated House over there on Threads, smart home and tablet switchmaker Brilliant has found a new owner, and they were acquired back in May. And guess what I have? Guess what
Oh man!
No take back.
I sent it to you too early.
It's not going down after all,
returns.
TJ.
You don't tell Pete. I had that just sitting around, and I was like, well, this company's obviously dead. I'm going to go ahead and send it to Seth because I have Seth's address now. So Seth can expect random packages throughout the years. So hopefully you never move because I'm going to send you random stuff.
It's just something I move and somebody just keeps getting random electronics.
Somebody keeps sending me old junk electronics.
It's too funny. Yeah, I don't know.
That's funny. Maybe you can install it then. If we attach it to the same Brilliant account, Seth, we can use the intercom together and talk to each other.
Ooh, that's fun.
Maybe. I don't know if that works like that. But
I'd have to have a 2-gang wall plate, it says. I took all of those out.
2-gang wall plate. It is a wall plate.
No, but you need a 2-gang, I guess, light switch, right?
You need this light switch. I think that's just the cover, though. Do you have a 2-gang switch anywhere? Give it to one of your old neighbors. I'm sure they'll know what to do with it.
Yeah, I might. I think the front door has a 2-gang wall. I think it's the only one I left that I couldn't. I didn't replace because it was on an exterior wall. That I didn't touch, and that means that it has a very shallow. Like we're on block wall, right? So it has a very shallow box. So that's not going there.
Definitely not.
But I can't tell you if I have any more 2-gang. I have to think about it.
Just put it on the wall of shame.
Yeah, it'll just have to live up there. Yeah, well, it sounds interesting because this is a Threads post from someone Jimmy's actually following is George Langabeer. He says, Brilliant Smart Home Control is indeed back in business. He's got a support question. And the support person says, yeah, Brilliant was acquired back in May. So we're back in business and going to have ongoing support for Brilliant devices. So that's good news. That's great news. I know a lot of people were really kind of upset about this and kind of shocked, I guess. And the owner had been looking for a way to kind of move the product off. We hadn't heard anything, but it's good to hear that they were acquired. So maybe the new owner, ? Will be able to keep the product we won.
Yeah, I find this kind of odd because there hasn't been any news about this. There's only been like a couple random Reddit posts that say that their support ticket was answered and somebody said that they were purchased, but I feel like we would know if they were purchased. So I'm not sure if I fully believe that somebody actually bought them, but I guess we'll find out in time, right?
Yeah, if the product keeps working, who cares? Like it's going to keep going, so.
Yeah, it's just weird. You think you would announce it?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys, everybody was scared for a moment, but it kind of like the Insteon thing, right? Where like Insteon just like randomly shut down, like nobody knew what was going on.
Shut down on a holiday weekend, mind you. Like, yeah.
I guess nobody came out after that though for a while and said it. So
right.
Never mind. My example was terrible. Keep doing what you're doing. Brilliant.
Yeah, Insteon was a very special case, but I mean, they were kind of rescued. They're still around too, I think, just not as prominent.
Yeah.
I mean,
Richard loves them still. So.
But yeah, so I'm just getting ready for CEDIA. That's my projects right now. So keep plugging away at that.
Insteon will be at CEDIA, I've been told.
What? Will they really be?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I was making that up.
It would be fun to see something. I mean, there's going to be some Zigbee stuff or Z-Wave stuff there. So I'm planning on checking that out. But yeah, also and of course the Ubiquity stuff. I want to check that out and see if I can go by and steal a knob off the front of the thing. I really want to know if they pop off. Oh, they have the tabletop enclosures back at Insteon, and they've got the little the i3 dial thing over on Insteon.com.
You're going to make us load this website, aren't you? Everybody listening is now going Insteon.
Wasn't this the IKEA thing that they made or something? Was it IKEA? It was somebody else. Who made this? Nokia, right?
Yeah.
Or Nokia.
Nokia. Stop. It's Nokia.
They have like this dial thing that you could do.
That's very nice looking.
Yeah, it does look very nice.
Insteon devices always do look nice.
We'll have to talk to our friend of the show, Richard, over there and find out if this is...
Oh, they have controllable outlets. Oh, look at that. Oh.
I think that, again, I want to say that the i3 stuff is the stuff that came from Nokia. However you say it, that's where they came from. It's good looking stuff, though. Yeah, this is definitely it. I recognize the keypad for sure. $79 for that keypad. That's really nice looking keypad. And the little dial, crank things up and down. I don't know, man. This is good looking stuff. I like it. We'll put links to all this stuff in the show notes. You guys can go check it out. All right. TJ, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've got some projects going on this week. Finally got my Aqara FP1E sensor set up. I think we talked about it last week. I didn't get a chance to set it up yet. Set it up at the office this week, and setup was super simple. Nothing to it. I don't even think I had to program zones or anything like that. Like the other one, you had to like walk around and show it the extreme areas and stuff like that. This one just automatically figured it out. So that was kind of a nice change. Still going to recommend the FP2 over the FP1E just because the non-removable USB cord. And it's only like $20 difference. So I think I would still stick with the FP2, but it is a pretty nice device. And if you're looking to save some money and you got a smaller room and you don't really care about the multiple zones and stuff like that, you don't really care about the removable USB cable, it's probably a good deal for you. So I would check it out.
Very nice. Very nice. This isn't that deep.
No, it's really not that bad.
That would actually...
I think your biggest problems would just be your connections. I don't think you're going to be able to fit it in a shallow box still. Yeah. We're talking about the Brilliant keypad here. Seth has it out of the box, and it's honestly like it's not that deep compared to like a normal smart switch. Like a normal smart switch, I feel like is deeper than that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I just with all the extra wiring and stuff, because most of this device is actually sitting outside of the wall. Like touchscreen and the little things instead of being forced into the box like normal switches. And I want to say maybe an inch is really all that needs to go in, and then you have all your wiring that's going to get tied up behind it. But
yeah, the wiring is going to be the worst part.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can find a 2-gang something laying around the house somewhere.
If not, bring it to CEDIA. Give it away.
Ooh, giveaways at the HomeTech Happy Hour.
Woo. Another reason to go to Colorado so you can win a Brilliant Switch.
I have to get some tickets.
All right, the next thing I have going on, so I have started tinting my windows. Have you ever seen Exhibits Pimp My Ride, where they go and tint the car windows? That's basically what's happening in my house right now. A little less loud music going on, though. We're not really blasting music as we're doing this.
But you still have all the LED lights, so...
That's right. All the Philips Hue everywhere. LifeX, everything. No, so honestly, one of the reasons that I was interested in tinting my home windows is because the sun raises behind us and it sets in front of us, and so literally all day our house is just getting cooked by the sun. And during our doors suck, our exterior doors are awful. We're gonna replace them at some point. But like for example, when the sun is setting and it's in front of the house and it's just beating on the front door. Like you can literally feel the heat coming through the front door. And so I was like, well, there's got to be something we could do for just the glass. And so we always get our cars tinted. And so I was like, well, let's look at a house window tint. And if you've ever put a screen protector on, it's basically the same exact concept. And I'm awful at putting screen protectors on phones. And so this is an awful thing for me to do because it's not easy.
Did you just like do one and you're like, well, I got to do the rest of them now. Oh God, what have I done?
Yeah. And it's one of those things that like you try to like, you scrape the glass and you clean it like 5 different times and everything. And then you get the window tint on there and there's like 5 cat hairs and beard hair and everything else underneath it. And you're just like, man, hopefully nobody looks at this. But it's one of those things that like, so we have this glass screen door in front of our front door. And as soon as, I'm not even exaggerating, as soon as I put the window tint on that glass door, I could feel the heat just drop.
Yeah.
It was a crazy reduction in the heat that was coming through that. And we get the added benefit that we got the dark window tint. And so during the day, if we have the windows or the doors open, you can't even tell. It's just nice and reflective. And it also serves a purpose that if you're coming over to our house and you're walking up to the door, you can fix your hair, adjust your beard, whatever you need to do, because the windows just reflect everything. It's like a giant mirror. So it's honestly been pretty nice. I was waiting for some larger window tint to come in. It's kind of weird right now. We have the front door done and then like 2 bottoms of the windows, but not the tops. So we'll get the rest of that done. Made a big difference. I would highly recommend it, but you need to check your window manufacturer and your door manufacturer, because that added heat that is reflected or trapped can break your windows. So That is something that I didn't realize was an issue until after we did it, but luckily my tent manufacturer says that it can be used with double pane windows. So we'll find out.
And you might be replacing all your windows.
Yeah.
Don't forget to install some contacts.
The Verilog set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the Verilux.
That's right. We got cameras and door contacts. I know. But yeah, it's honestly been a big difference. I think I'm excited to do the rest of the windows. We're definitely going to do the east and west facing windows, because that's where the sun is pretty much at all day. And I think it'll make a big difference. It's not going to be like the biggest difference. I'm not going to save like $30 a month on my heating bill or something, but it's going to feel nicer in the room because it's not as much heat getting through.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then my last thing, I'm going to Missouri next month, guys. I don't know.
The show me state.
I've never been to Missouri. It sounds pretty awful, but I'm going there to install Home Assistant. So we've made it big, boys. We're taking this show on the road.
Wait, they asked you to do that?
Yeah, there's literally nobody else in the state of Missouri that can do it. So they didn't have any choice. They had to get somebody to come in.
A Home Assistant person? Wow.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
TJ can do this, but then he also has Gavin as a service, as a backup. So, like, if he runs into any problems, he can just give his Gavin as a service a call.
What Gavin doesn't realize is I've already outsourced it to him.
Oh, have I been answering all those random questions for this job? I didn't even know I was working. I'm going to send you my bill.
Yeah, see? Work smarter, not harder.
I got a bill for you.
But no, I'm going to Springfield, Missouri. So if you have any recommendations for what to do in Springfield, Missouri, I asked the guy, I said, what is there to do in Springfield? And he said, well, we have the biggest Bass Pro Shop in the country.
There you go.
And I was like, well, you're not really helping me at all right now. So, and I looked up stuff to do in Springfield, Missouri, guys, and there's nothing there.
You're going to find something. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There's a castle you can go to.
Ooh, a castle.
Yeah, it's got 4.1 stars on Google. There you go.
All right, I mean, that's pretty good.
It's a
castle and Bass Pro Shop. I'm good to go.
Yeah, and there's a Route 66 car museum. You can go there.
Oh yeah, I think that is on Route 66, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We are driving there. So originally we were gonna fly, but I as a Midwesterner, I hate flying because it's one of those things that like I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's only 12 hours away. I'll just drive. And I was looking at flights, and of course, there's like no good airline that flies directly from Columbus to Springfield, Missouri. It's always like Delta or United Airlines. And the racket now with airlines, which I didn't realize, is that you can pay $800 for 2 round trip tickets, but that's not refundable.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want that refundable, you have to spend an extra $150. And so it's going to be like $1,000 for round trip tickets. And I was like, there is no way in heck I'm going to spend $1,000 on flights to go to Missouri. I was like, it's only 10 hours. I will drive.
It's 10 hours. That's all. Wow.
That's it. It's just 10 hours. I mean, you leave in the morning, you'll be there by night.
This castle, I guess there's ghost tours. You can have fun doing that. There you go.
Man, I like that you've already done more research on Missouri than I have.
It's Google.
I have not looked up anything about Missouri.
And of course the largest Bass Pro Shops on here as well. So I guess that's what's to do. That's what's to do.
Yeah, that's what there is.
There's a zoo.
Probably a sad zoo. Gavin, what do you got going on this
I want to
week?
hear more about Missouri in this Bass Pro Shop because I was in one actually this past weekend. But
you guys have Bass Pro Shop up there?
I think we have one. It's the biggest one in Canada.
I didn't. Snap.
Oh my!
But, yeah.
What can you buy there? Snowshoes? That's it.
Fishing gear, hunting gear, stuff like that. So
makes sense.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Seth?
Well, I was going to say, not only do they have the world's largest Bass Pro Shop in Springfield, Missouri, they have the world's largest fork.
Oh, the world's largest fork?
Yes, it's in front of a building. It looks like any other office building, and it looks like there's a fork in front of it, and it's like a 2-story fork. So there you go. There is something to do in Springfield, Missouri.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to this fork. Fork you.
Forking big. All right, family show over.
Oh, what the fork are we talking about?
But anyways, this weekend I actually breaking news. I just got a reply on this. So Third Reality, the device manufacturer, they were teasing a new device. It looked like a soil moisture sensor.
Ooh.
So, of course, all their images show it being used indoors, but they just replied to me and said, yes, it's outdoor compatible too. So it looks like they're coming with an outdoor soil moisture sensor. The only downside is another one of those that stick out of the lawn. So It is what it is. At least we have another option.
Where do you see this at?
It's on the site formerly known as Twitter.
Oh, yeah, don't go on
Yeah, so check it out. I just got word. Anyways, this weekend, I haven't really got many projects done because this weekend we went up to the cottage, rented a boat, did some fishing. Stayed away from all technology for the weekend. It felt good. I mean, the most technology I had was that fish finder, and all it did was mess with my emotions. Every time a fish came by the boat, it would beep and we'd get all excited and nothing happened. So, that fish finder, sometimes I wonder if it's just laughing at you as it does this thing. It's like, show them a big one,
It's just a fish under there messing with you. It's like a turtle.
Yeah. And the worst part is for a day after that, anytime you heard a little beep, you got all excited again. Like, you just thought, because that was our emotion, right? Is you're on the boat, you hear a beep, you're like, yes, there's a fish somewhere around here. You don't catch it, and you get depressed.
Did you catch anything? I mean,
weed.
Wow. You have so much up there. You just even have it in the water, huh?
It's Canada, so
yeah. That's what I'm saying. We even got weeds in the water. The clumps of weed we got some good clumps of weed that we pulled out of the lake there. It was really weedy, but
you caught a weed fish.
Yeah. We threw it back though. We didn't keep it.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't want it.
That's respectable.
So that was my weekend.
Nice.
And apparently, I'm going to be helping on a home assistant install in Missouri. So. Look up things to do out there.
There's also a Hubble Space Telescope replica not too far away from there that you can go check out.
A replica, not even the real thing.
Not the real thing, no. Because you wouldn't want to see the real thing because that means you'd be at a Lagrange point in space, and it's probably not a good idea. But yeah.
So you'd be like those Boeing astronauts who won't be able to come back home.
Not Boeing astronauts. SpaceX is sending them up there. So yeah. That should be interesting. Yeah. Boeing is I think they're going to give up.
I just love that passed like 3 rounds of people that thought it was a good idea, right? It was like the Boeing astronauts thought it was a good idea to go up there. Boeing thought it was a good idea to send them up there. NASA thought it was a good idea. So just a lot of failures there. It's like nobody looked at the current events and was like, maybe we shouldn't do this right now, guys.
You just got to test with what you got. And
we'll do it live.
Doing it live. Exactly. The more interesting one, I think, is the SpaceX one. I think that's going to be very interesting. And that they're actually going up way out. They're going way out past some satellites to do some spacewalking. You're going to actually open up the hatch and start walking around. So that one will be interesting to see how they do. So space news too here on HomeTech. Fun. Well, please check out the Hubble Space Telescope and the Giant Fork if you're up there in Springfield. And if there's anything else to do, let TJ know, please. I think that's going to wrap up this week. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support our show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head over to HomeTech.fm support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out here on the show, but every single pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat where you and other supporters of the show can gather every day to talk about Ubiquity announcements, I guess, because that's, we've been talking about that quite a bit. And you probably see a bunch of pictures, coming in next week from the HomeTech Happy Hour too. I'm sure that's going to happen there too. So if you don't want to miss out, that's where it's all at. If you want to help out, you can't support financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to wrap up another show this week. Probably not going to see you next week. I might try and do something from the show floor, but with all that said, we'll see you maybe the week after next.
Till next time.
Take care.
I don't know what to say after that. It was like
I know.
It was like you're just leaving us forever,
Exactly. I wasn't
like
sure if it was done. That wasn't a smooth transition.
All right. And with that, we will see you a week after next, probably. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you then.
Till next time.
Then.
I don't know when that is. It's a week or two from now.
Well, from when you edit and publish this. It's a week or two from then.